What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a YouTube video on objects. So basically everything in PowerShell is an object. Today we're going to be using the get service commandlet, and we're going to be displaying the services on our Windows machine. One of the useful tools that we're going to be using today is get member. It will show you the methods on the object, the type of object you got, the properties that you have available to you. Sometimes when you're using PowerShell, it will only display 2 or 3 properties of the object. You can use get member to see extra properties that are available to you. It's a very useful tool. We'll be storing the service into a variable and basically showing you what that looks like, calling methods on that object to start the service, stop the service. We'll also do a little bit with some strings and do some methods on the string material so you can kind of see what that does. So let's get started. So here you can see if we run get service in the window below, it's going to show you all the services available. Now, don't think of this as text going out to the screen. Each individual line is an individual object. So we can say pipe get service to select first one, and it's going to show you the first item of services. So it spits out that first object, and that object has properties. So here we can see the 3 properties: status, name, and display. Those are the 3 properties that's showing right now, but there are more properties. So if we were to go ahead, we're going to use the Windows Update service for our examples today. So we're going to go ahead and get the Windows Update service. We can remove select first one. We no longer need that since we're specific to one service. And we'll pipe it to get member. So we can see the properties on this service type. So if I scroll up a little bit, we can see the type of object we're dealing with from using get member. It's a system, service process, service controller. And then we can see different things down here. So here we have methods which are actions you can perform on the object. So start, stop, refresh. You also have properties basically showing the settings that are on here. So basically you can say, show me the display name, show me the service name, show me the site, the start type, the status. Notice there's a bunch more properties available to you that you can drill into, which is really good for you when you're scripting and trying to do customizations. So what we'll do now is we're going to get this service. We're going to store it into a variable called service. And now if I show you the contents of that service, you can see I have it here. So one thing to remember when you're doing this is when we store this service into this variable, it's capturing the current state of that service. So if we change the service on this server to started, it's not updating the variable object. It's starting the service, but the contents of the variable doesn't update because we captured it almost like a snapshot. So we're going to show that here. So right now we can see the service is stopped. Now if we call the start method and we look at on our methods, you notice here on the right side of our method it says void, stop, and 2 open and close parentheses. Some methods make you pass in parameters, like extra things to make the method work, basically like a function. So stop doesn't require anything, but if we look down here at like wait for status, you can see that there's other things within these parentheses, and it's basically telling you the things you need to pass in. We can go more in detail in other videos on methods and depth. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and start the service. So we'll run that line of code. And now notice there's no output, because if you look at these, they say void, which means they don't show anything to the screen. Now, if we look at the service we captured earlier, we're going to look at the state of it. And notice it's still stopped. But on line 13, if we call the active service right now, you'll see that it's actually running. So remember, when you capture a variable, this can catch people up when they're scripting, and they'll store a service in a variable, they'll start it, and then it'll go back and check that variable again to see if it started. You don't want to do that. You need to actually pull the data back from the machine and not what's stored in the variable. So again, we can see it started. When we pull the live data, we'll go ahead, run line 14 to stop the service again, and then we'll pull the live data again on that service. And now we can see that that's been stopped. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. A lot of people forget about that. Selecting properties. So this is where get member shows you extra properties that you have available. So as we saw earlier, we had properties for status, can shut down, and display name, right? So properties that come out are status name and display name. So if you pipe your service to select object and type in those names that you got from get member up above, so if I scroll up here, if you can copy and paste any of these names in here, as long as they're a comment separated list, it's going to display those to the screen. So here we go. We have status, can shut down, and display name. We can just select status. Now, one thing to keep in mind too is the status, right, stopped, has a title called status, or a header, right? So let's say you wanted to strip that off and only pull the value of that field. That's where expand property comes into play. So expand property will strip this off and basically just show you stopped. Now, this is one thing to keep in mind too, because when you're scripting, if you're doing basically a if statement, which we'll get into later, or you're trying to compare any logic, you need to drill into this title basically to get the details of what's underneath that header. Another thing to select a property, you could do dot status. So as long as you have the object, so if we run that, there's our object, and then we can do dot, and we can say a property name. So this example, we're doing status. So it's going to grab the contents of the status, display it to the screen, but without that header, because we're using that header right here, basically. So if I do that, if I didn't highlight just that, we can see it stopped. Now, if I wanted to, I could change this to one of the other names, right? So we can grab display name and put that and change status to display name. And if we run this line, it's just going to show the display name, and it removes that header from the object. Now let's get into methods. We're going to be doing methods on a string. So a string, just quotes around some text, is a string. So we're going to go ahead and store the string into a variable called string. And then if I show you the string contents, we can see this is a string, prints out to the screen. And then we're going to pipe it to our friend get member. But a lot of people don't know get member has parameters. So here, instead of just doing get member and showing everything to the screen, all the different things you can do, you can say only show me the member types, which is this middle column right here on this output down below. Only show me the methods, and you can even use only show me the properties. So we'll just grab the methods, and here's a list of all the things you can do. You can replace strings, you can split, you can start with, you can trim the front and ends if you have spaces. So many methods you can do on, and this is just for a string object. So one we'll do is we'll insert an A. So if we look at insert and we were to look in the method down here at insert, you can see it says method, but it says string insert, and then it says here the things you pass in. So we have, you need to pass in an integer, that's going to be your start index, and then the value, that's a string value that you want to replace. So we're going to change 0 index to an A. And so when I do that, you can see in our output, A, this is a string. Now, did that actually change the string? No. It just changed the contents that's going to get displayed to the screen. If you wanted that to save, you would do $string equals and then run this code, and it would update the current state of the string to the new one. You can call ToUpper, which will make everything uppercase. You can call ToLower to make everything lowercase, especially if you're doing certain, so PowerShell isn't really case sensitive, but if you're doing things that need to be case sensitive, you can just make everything lower, so all your checks are always going to pass. You can also replace strings. So, we have an A in our string right now, so if I run this, we have a lowercase a, so we're saying, all right, replace the lowercase a with the capital A, and that works. You can make it any letter you want. You can make it a bunch of letters. Replace A with this right here. That's going to replace it with that long string of text. So that's the video today. It's on objects, just your basic methods, your properties. If you have any questions, feel free to put comments below. I'll go ahead and respond to those. And don't forget to like and subscribe.